We all drift into what-if territory sometimes. What if I moved somewhere else? What if I won the lottery? But there's another kind of curiosity. The one that stretches beyond everyday life and tumbles straight into the impossible. Like, what if you could dig a tunnel through the center of the Earth and leap inside? For one thing, you'd cut your travel time dramatically. Instead of flying 12,000 miles across the planet, you'd travel just under 8,000 miles through it. In theory, the whole trip would take only 42 minutes. You could leave from one side of the planet and pop out on the other before your coffee cooled. Provided you survived the journey, which is another story. You'd start by drilling through about 20 to 40 miles of crust. After that comes nearly 2,000 miles of solid rock making up the mantle, then the outer core, a churning ocean of molten iron glowing at around 10,000 degrees Ev, about as hot as the sun's surface. Beneath that lies a solid metal sphere the size of the moon, and according to some scientists, an even smaller liquid heart at the very center. Then, of course, you'd have to make the same trip all the way back up. If you could somehow withstand all that heat and pressure, gravity would be your engine. It would pull you down faster and faster, accelerating by roughly 32 feet per second every second. Halfway through your plunge, you'd be racing at 15,000 miles per hour. By the time you shot past Earth's core, you'd be moving at 18,000. You'd burst out the other side, unless, of course, no one was there to catch you, in which case you'd fall right back in, swinging endlessly through the planet like a giant pendulum. Now imagine Earth without its familiar tilt. Our planet currently leans about 23.5 degrees on its axis, and that small angle is what gives us seasons. Without it, everything would change. The poles would still be cold, but not frozen wastelands. The sun would show up every day, making the Arctic and Antarctic far less hostile. But summer and winter as we know them would vanish. No snowmen, no snow days, no holidays shaped around long nights or warm evenings. Plants would be lost without the rhythm of seasons to guide them. Many would struggle to know when to grow, flower, or rest. That confusion would ripple up the food chain. Animals depending on those plants would adapt in unpredictable ways. Some might skip hibernation entirely. Others could shift their mating cycles. You might find bears wandering all year long. A planet without seasons would look alive, but it would feel strange, always the same, yet subtly out of balance. And what if Earth were flat? Sorry to disappoint the Flat Earth Society, but physics would rebel. Gravity would only pull straight down toward the center of the disk, not evenly everywhere. The farther you walked from the middle, the more sideways gravity would tug, until you'd feel like you were climbing uphill just to reach the edge. Oceans would pool at the center, leaving the outer rim bone dry. Trees would grow at bizarre angles, tilting toward the middle, and rolling a ball in any direction would be useless. It would simply curve back to where it started. Even something as ordinary as a falling coconut might become dangerous, flinging unpredictably under twisted gravity. But say our world stayed round and simply spun faster. Right now, Earth rotates at about 1,037 miles per hour at the equator. Fast enough, but not something we notice because we're moving along with it. If it sped up just 1 mile per hour, you wouldn't feel much. The oceans would swell slightly near the equator, pushing sea levels up by a few inches. You'd only see that change after a few years. The first sign of trouble would actually come from the sky. Satellites would lose sync with the ground, drifting off course and disrupting communication, navigation, and even military systems. Now picture Earth as a cube. Gravity would pull strongest at the center of each face, making the middle of every side an ocean basin while the edges and corners became cold, lifeless cliffs. The air itself would collect toward the middle, leaving the edges bare and silent. Each face would host its own miniature ecosystem, isolated and strange, a patchwork planet of 6 separate worlds. If our planet had rings, though, that would be beautiful. They'd likely orbit along the equator, appearing as glowing bands of light stretching across the sky. From the equator, they'd look like thin streaks arching away into space. From higher latitudes, they'd widen and blaze across the heavens. At night, they'd catch sunlight and shimmer softly, casting a constant twilight glow. There would never be full darkness, and daytime would feel dazzlingly bright. And what if the moon disappeared? The tides would weaken dramatically, leaving the oceans calmer but less dynamic. Nights would be darker, and romance would lose a little of its magic. More importantly, Earth's rotation would speed up without the moon's gravitational drag. Days would shorten, not metaphorically, but literally. We'd live faster lives, complaining not about busy schedules, but about how 24 hours never seemed quite enough anymore. Now imagine a world twice as big as ours. Gravity would double, pressing everything down with twice the strength. Trees would grow thick and muscular, plants would be dense and sturdy, animals would evolve heavier bodies and stronger limbs. Humans might follow two paths, either bulk up to survive the pull, or grow smaller and lighter to escape it. Cats would look like bodybuilders. Everything would feel heavier, slower, and more deliberate. So maybe our round, tilted, ringless, moonlit world isn't such a bad setup after all. Messy, yes, but stable enough to let life breathe, dream, and wonder.